So hello everybody. Today I will show you how to make all of this and much more into lasagne or spaghetti bolognese. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to do is add some butter. And you will need loads of butter to do this, if you ask me. We have 2 kilos of meat, so this should do it. You can also use oil, but the butter is the best thing to use. And then you want to add all the spice. Add some curry. I use a bit of chicken seasoning, oregano. Add a fair amount, a bit more. Add some garlic salt. Add some basil, not as much as oregano, but still. I add a bit of mustard. Add a bit of real salt. Add some pepper. Add some leaves, and add the meat. And now it's time to stir this around on full heat. Make sure that you are on full heat, because you really need to get this going as soon as possible. The reason why I add the spice before I do add the meat is because now I'm sure that all the meat will take in all the spice. This will be better, but it also have to cook for a fair amount of time. So this is the reason why I do this. I almost forgot, you have to add a bit of sugar. When it's almost cooked, I always do this to make sure that I chop up all the uncooked parts. It makes it easier to make sure that it's all cooked. And now that it's all stirred up, take all the meat apart like this, so all the water can fall down there and they boil away. And wait, and as you can see, all the water is coming down here, so it's just being boiled away right now. Be careful though, because you could burn all of the meat, and we don't want meat burns in our food, especially because we are going to boil it for many hours to come. And for this I will use a whole garlic, and here we have it, a full garlic. This is a garlic press, so I just press the garlic into it. There we go. Take a knife and chop off the rest of the bits here. So for my tomato mix here, I have with garlic, I have with herbs, and I have one with basil. Okay, I have 8 cans. I think it's 3 with garlic, 3 with herbs, 2 with basil. Yes, that's it. 3 garlic, 3 herbs, and 2 basil. And this was the reason why we wanted all the water out, because think about how much water you add by adding 8 cans of tomato here. And now I say something that is really crazy. I really hope that this fits into this, because if it's not, I might be in a problem. But I think it does. It fits. Just has to be heated up. The reason why I choose this wok was actually because then I could have a top on. Oh, it fits, it fits. This is fine. Now we will stir it around a bit, carefully, because then it will shrink into one moisture of tomato, garlic, and meat. The next part would be to just let it sit here and cook for some hours, and I will do that. But the big question is, whether I am going to add more into the mix now, or I'm going to wait until later. Now I will heat it, because now I need to get rid of some of this water. And then we will be back with more cooking. I set my stove, which goes to 9. I set that to 4.5. And I'll just let it cook here for about 30 minutes. Then I will come out here again, and I will start stirring more in it. So you can just let it sit here for about 15 minutes, come out, stir in it, go back to whatever you were doing, and then you should be fine. And trust me, there is a lot of stuff in here now, and there will be much more. Like, I need to put these 3 into it, and I need to put this into it. I'm not sure about the milk, so that just goes to the fridge. So we will wait and come back later.
And it is much later now. As you might be able to see, my girlfriend came by, so I couldn't record the live commentary because I was talking to her. But what I eventually choose to do were to take out a pot and put in the most of the meat with some of the moisture in, so I could cook away most of the water. And now I'm going to add the sausages, which I like in my lasagne. The next thing I do is to add the cream to make the lasagne more creamy. You might think that it's really disgusting to put so much cream into it, but oh, I really like it. And as thin as I am, I really need a lot of fat in my food in order to survive. So this is how I do it. And slowly I will add some of the meat from the pot into the big mixture, but only slowly while I'm cooking away most of the water. The next thing to do is just to let it cook for a while adding some of the dry meat from the pot, and let all the moisture boil away. It can take an hour or 2 before you have the consistency that you want, but when you have it where you want, you're mostly done.
Goodbye.
Next to do is to add up all the layers of pasta, mayonnaise sauce and cheese. I usually do so I have the pasta in the bottom, and then I add the sauce on top of it. Then I add a layer of cheese or mayonnaise sauce, then a layer of sauce again. Then I put a cheese on, and then sauce, and then go on until I'm done. Depends on how much space I have in the thing I'm going to bake it in. I choose to bake it in a pot because then it becomes higher, and then you can, if you want, add more layers to it. But again, that depends on how you're going to do it. Since I am using pasta screws, I usually have more sauce than I would have in between layers elsewise. But this is how I'm doing it. Afterwards, you want to let it sit around for around 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. Let it sit there and let it all just shrink together into one mix, but still separated by cheese, sauce, mayonnaise sauce. And then you're mostly done. Let it bake for around 30 to 45 minutes, and then you are ready to eat.